Hey everyone, and welcome to this edition of AskCody On Air. Today, we've got a great session lined up where I'll take a closer look at two exciting updates, resource groups and AskCody's integration with Microsoft Teams. Both of these features make it easier than ever to book the right rooms and workspaces while keeping everything streamlined within Microsoft Teams and Outlook. As always, this is a live session, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the question section at the top right corner of your browser window or directly in the webinar chat. Now, today we'll go over what resource groups are and why they matter. We'll see it live in action with both the admin side to set it up, but also how does it look like from the end user side, and also together with the great addition of having the AskCody add-ins also available in Teams now with the latest calendar update. So let's dive in. First off, let's start with resource groups. This is a new feature that gives IT admins and workplace managers a lot more control over who can book which rooms and desks. So if your organization has, for example, different teams or departments, or even some locations that should have access to specific meeting rooms or desks, with Exchange and Microsoft 365, it's of course possible to set up some guardrails so that only certain users are able to book certain resources, but this actually comes with a drawback in user experience. With Outlook and Exchange, it is not really possible to fully scope who can see what when it comes to booking resources at the office. Everyone can see everything, and rejections comes first after having placed a booking request. This, as you can imagine, ends up being quite frustrating for some end users as they, well, in some cases, miss the notification email with a rejection for a meeting room for an important meeting, and only see it when perhaps it's already too late, when perhaps the room is not available anymore. In some other cases, facility managers also need to reject booking requests on meeting rooms or desks that some users do not have access to, such as VIP rooms, for example, or desks assigned to a specific department, if that is the case. So how have we fixed that? Resource groups make it easy to set that up. Instead of people scrolling through a long list of spaces, a long list of meeting rooms or desks that they can't actually use, they'll only see the ones that are available to them. They'll only see the ones that the organizations allow them to use and book. With this update, we have now made it also possible for admins to control exactly who sees and books specific spaces by linking Entra ID security groups to resource groups in AskCody. Let's actually see how that works kind of conceptually to start with. The way it works is that IT admins create security groups in Microsoft Entra ID. Entra ID is the identity management platform from Microsoft that many organizations use to manage employees, to manage their access to different organizational, let's just say, tools and components of their tech stack. So directly integrated with that, IT admins can go ahead and create multiple groups that they want to use to scope access to within Entra ID, and then make users members of those groups according to the access they want to give. Those groups are then linked to resource groups in AskCody, which is basically a group of meeting rooms and/or desks where admins can assign specific rooms and desks to these people. What will happen is that when these two groups are linked within AskCody, employees will only see the spaces in their group that is allowed. They only see the spaces that they're allowed to book, depending on the organizational policies that are assigned to them. So, for example, if the finance team has its own dedicated meeting rooms, for instance, only people within finance will see those rooms when they go to book it. There's no more confusion and no more double-checking policies and no more manual rejection needed. It's just a cleaner and more organized booking experience. So let's actually see the feature in action, and then let's see how it looks like. So if we jump right here first to into Microsoft Teams. This feature, of course, works within the booking setting, both for Outlook and Microsoft Teams. I'm going to showcase it in Teams as Microsoft just released an update where they basically brought in the Outlook calendar to Microsoft Teams, which brings pretty much feature parity between Outlook and Teams, which means basically that the AskCody add-ins are available. So let me walk you through how resource groups works and how to set it up as well. So first of all, I will navigate here to the Teams calendar, where I first of all need to make sure that I'm using the new calendar right here up in this toggle. With that enabled, I can simply just go ahead and create a meeting. Let's just call this client meeting for the example purposes, and maximize or kind of detach the window to make sure to be able to see all of the features such as the add-ins here. So right now, I do not have any restrictions set in my organization. So when I open the AskCody Bookings add-in, I should be able to see all of the resources, all of the meeting rooms and desks available for me to use. So I'm going to click on Find. And as we can see here, there's a long list of resources available for me to book. Basically, whatever is available right now, I'm seeing right here in the add-in, of course, ranked in the top of whatever meets my my meeting best. In this case, if we focus on conferences room A, B, and C, and let's say that we wanted to prevent this user from actually seeing and booking these meeting rooms, how do we do that? This is where resource groups comes into play, because jumping right here into the AskCody portal, what we will do is take a group again from Entra ID and link it to a resource group that we will create within AskCody, and make sure that, well, in this case, the user that I have that I'm logged in with, which is called Michael, does not have access to book these resources. So basically, what we would expect is that conference rooms A, B, and C are not available here in this view in the AskCody add-in. So first of all, let's head up here in the AskCody portal to the admin center, and within the admin center, under resources, we will find resource groups. And here, I will go ahead and create my very first resource group, and I'm going to call it, let's say, VIP rooms. I can choose to give it a description. This is completely optional. It's for management purposes. It would make it easier for me to identify multiple resource groups in case I have a lot. I will leave that blank for this example, but you can just type in any information that would make this resource group stand out from the others in case you need that. Now, here's the important part, because what I will do here is define which resources being, again, meeting rooms or desks, I want to include in this resource group name. In this case, let's go with the conference rooms A, B, and C that we saw in the add-in. So let's add those three. And then when it comes to Entra ID groups, I need to choose a group or multiple groups, of course, is possible, that contain the employees that I want to allow to book these three meeting rooms right here. So in this case, for this particular example, I've actually created a group in Microsoft Entra ID called VIP Room Access, as you can see right here at the bottom. And when I click on it, you can see that going into the member section, you can see that my user Michael is not a member of this group. This means that only these 4 users will be able to see and book conference room A, B, and C when I link these 2 groups together. So let's actually do just that. So Entra ID groups, this section, when I start typing here, it looks into an organization's Entra ID and it finds the groups which names matches what I write here. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and type VIP and it should find VIP room access. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and click on add. Just like that, I have actually implemented a policy that that says that, well, only people that are members in Entra ID, namely these 4 users, will be able to see and book these 3 resources. This is the admin part. This is how an admin sets it up. But how does it actually look for users inside Microsoft Teams? Well, as we have seen now, the AskCody add-in is available here on Teams. And then the next time a user opens the AskCody Bookings add-in, what will happen is that the resources that were available before will not be there because simply the user that I'm logged in in this case, again, Michael, is not part of the Entra ID group that I have here. Basically means that conference rooms A, B, and C should not be available in the list of my AskCody bookings room, of my AskCody bookings add-in, as you can see right here, because simply I do not have the right access. My organization does not allow me to book these resources. So, for instances where you actually need to make sure that VIP rooms are only possible to be booked by certain employees or departments, you can ensure that outcome with resource groups. You can actually make sure that that happens following exactly the same steps as you saw right here. Now, let's actually review what we had to share today, because this is a very powerful feature and it brings a lot of control and a lot of power for organizations to actually implement booking policies with the tools that they already have. So there's no need to have any other third-party tool. So basically, with AskCody resource groups and Microsoft 365, employees will only see the rooms they have access to. They will have the AskCody add-in directly on Teams and on Outlook, so basically on the tools that they already have, that they're already used to, meeting the users where they are. And it makes it really easy for organizations to implement policies without any other party tool or any complicated process. This is, of course, great for organizations that have, again, multiple locations that perhaps need to keep access restricted to certain groups. For organizations that perhaps have an IT or facilities team that is consistently rejecting bookings because perhaps they are delegates for a room. So basically, every single booking request that is made to a room needs to be accepted or rejected by an actual employee from facility management. This will not be necessary anymore, because by implementing the right settings, by implementing the right policies, well, users that are not able to book these rooms are simply not able to see them. So this booking request will stop coming from to facility management. And yeah, I believe that's what I had to share with you today. Let's actually share. Check the questions section to see if there's any questions from the audience right here. Well, it doesn't look like there's any questions today, and that is, of course, perfectly fine. In any case, I hope you have found this information useful. And once again, thank you for tuning in to AskCody on Air. As always, we're here to support you. This is a space for you, our dear customers. So feel free to connect with us in the AskCody community by either scanning the QR code shown on screen or typing AskCody community on LinkedIn. You can also feel free to write me directly at the email shown on screen in case you have any questions or feedback, or perhaps have any ideas for topics that you'd like us to address in any future sessions. That's it. Thank you very much again, and see you in the next one.